Welcome, friends! This is the officially unofficial Geek Channel Spoilertastic comic review, and I have some news. This week, this moment, this Spoilertastic comic review will be the last one. Calm down, calm down. Just relax, okay? Breathe in, out. Hold it a second. Okay, so check this out. I am not done reviewing comics. No, I'm not. However, kind of looking at what I want to do with my persona, with the channel, with everything, kind of looking at all of those things, um, and where I want this to build to. It usually involves sometimes adding things, changing things around, that kind of thing. Um, so I could sit here and talk to you about comics on a Sunday, or I could sit here and talk to you guys about comics on a Thursday or a Friday. And then I feel like maybe I'm giving you more of a service, whereas then you're on Friday, right? You're on Thursday, you're on Friday, right? And that time, you're like, hey, maybe I'll check out what the OUG has to say about a certain comic that I'm on the fence about. And you can make the decision then to buy it. Do I want to be somebody that's influencing you? Sure. I kind of do actually. I I really do. I think this is kind of who I am. This is where I'm going with this. And here we go. Here we go. So, here's the deal. My comic reviews are going to be less spoilertastic, more teensy weensy spoilers, but more earlier, so that maybe I can make a little bit more of a difference with what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to do for my audience. However, I also have to think kind of logically for myself, considering this is not my full-time job. I don't read comic books or do anything with comic books for a living yet. Um, um, and sometimes you have weeks like next week where there is a lot of stuff that I anticipate reading. So if I'm getting my comics on Tuesday or Wednesday, um, I got to give myself enough time to read. I can't be, I want to be one of these people that's like, okay, so maybe you've gotten your comics and um, maybe you're on the fence about something. So here's where I come in and I tell you, hey, I've read this. Either run out and buy it or maybe another time, you know? Um, so I do need to give myself a little bit more of a leeway, so that one, I can do that, and two, it's still logical and reasonable to provide this service, that I want to provide to you guys, my um, watchers. You're the watcher. My subscribers. There you go, my subscribers. What's some other stuff that's kind of going on? Yeah, I'm talking about, trying to build this and myself up to something big, something great. So, what's some other stuff that's been happening? Guys, I started a blog, and I actually I've put a few things into it already. So, this is great. Um, so what have I got? Okay, so I have kind of like an entry um post like, "Hi, how's it going? Why am I here?" And two, um that video I posted last week about the first 3 episodes of Outlander? Well, guess what I did? I did a post as a companion piece to that one, um having to do about the history related to the theme song of Outlander. Um, and it's over there on the blog. Just waiting for you to read. Just waiting. Just waiting for you. Last night I posted a book review. Not a comic book review, mind you. A book. An actual book with pages. In fact, this is the book that I posted the review about um, on my blog. Now, I had been searching for quite a while for just the right spot for my blog, and years ago, I used to use LiveJournal. Yes, guys, you thought you would never hear the words LiveJournal again. And I thought I was the same way, but I actually found out, guys, LiveJournal still exists. It's still out there. And I know because that's where my blog is. Yes, my blog is on LiveJournal. You can read my thoughts, my hot takes, if I ever have any. I have hot takes all the time, believe me. There will be hot takes. We're just kind of new at this right now. We don't have a lot up there yet, but here's where you get in at the ground level, right? You get in at the ground level, you start looking into this now. You start seeing, hey, she's posting on social media about a blog. I'm going to go check that out. You put it on your radar, guys. Just start now because there'll be more. So hot takes, reviews like I did last night, information companion pieces to what I do here on the channel. Also, I'm a writer, so I'm also going to be posting about my writing, posting about what I'm writing, what I'm working on. Um, Maybe even posting some samples of stuff that I've written, talking about the writing I have done, all that stuff. Anything that doesn't happen here is gonna happen there. So if you're interested at all in the mind, in the written world of the officially unofficial geek, me, get it on your radar, y'all. Get it on your radar. And probably one of the best places to follow me on social media right now is Instagram. So at officially unofficial geek on Instagram, follow me there and we'll check it out. We'll expand this universe together. And so we've got comics, we're gonna have movies, we're gonna keep going with what's happening Wednesday. Um, Guys, in 2023, we might even get Joe on camera for the What's Happening Wednesday. You never know. Let's cross our fingers, guys. Um, I've got, big personal things. I'm going to be moving. I'm going to have all this stuff happening, but I'm still here. I'm doing this and I'm adding to it. I'm trying to build up to something. It's either going to be enough and it's going to happen, or I'm just going to have this outlet. Either way is fine. Um, and you know, it just anything else could pop up along the way. We could be doing more um, uh, um, graphic novel reviews. Just recently got my hands on the hardcover, the Death Metal Deluxe Edition hardcover, sitting right where I can see it right now, which means, folks, I'm planning on reading it soon. If it's where I can see it, I plan on reading it soon. This is not the truth universal about me, but we have a pretty good track record because I have been sitting there and waiting to read Daisy Jones and the Six for a while, and I've been wanting to read it, but it just kind of sat on the dining or the living room, like coffee table setup we have until I was just like, okay, can't take it anymore, and I picked it up and I started reading it, and I breezed through that sucker in like probably 2 weeks, with just committing to reading a little bit, um, of anything each day. Um, and I'm a milestone reader, so I think I've mentioned that before on the channel. I'm a milestone reader, so like if I start a chapter, I have to finish that chapter before doing something else. Um, so I feel that that kind of works for me. Um, and kind of keeping me on task with reading. It's the same thing with like graphic novels and trades of comics. I actually recently, and I should really film something about this, but I actually recently read um, The Dark Knight Returns for the first time. Mm-hmm. 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 You can all act impressed. Mm-hmm. Yes. Um, Probably not too impressed. I mean, what, it's been out since 1986 and I only just read it. That thing is complex as hell. Let me tell you, complex. I don't even think complex and dense begins to express what it's like to read The Dark Knight Returns. And it's like, okay, it's saying a lot of stuff, okay? And I'm not even really mad at it for it. Um it's saying a lot of stuff, and it's saying it like a lot. I think I know why I haven't filmed a video about it yet. Show pal Carrie doesn't know quite how to talk about it. Anyways, lots of stuff. I'm reading a lot more now. I'm trying. We've got a couple 30 to make a Whovian videos up. Um, yeah, so this is good. This is good. We're growing. We're wanting to do more. We're really, and you know, I might still do something on Sundays. Um, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but we'll see. So today is your last Spoilertastic weekly comic review. Starting next week, we'll have a regular comic review up by Thursday or Friday. I'm trying to give myself plenty of time. Right now, I have like a really good arrangement, but I'm going to be moving in a couple months, and um, I don't know. I might still be able to set up my particular arrangement where I can have my comics just a little bit earlier. Um, However, I'm not counting on it, which is why I can't go ahead and say I'm going to be doing it by Wednesday. But it is what it is. So I am actually going to be talking to you guys about right now. Right now, I'm going to pause the video for a second and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to be doing like a couple weeks worth of comics here for you guys. And I'm not going to do them in any particular order. Because I'm really going to be, especially for the comics from a couple weeks ago, really going to be trying to talk about them from memory. And it can get hard sometimes. I do read a lot. And I'm getting old. So, first comic I'm going to talk to you guys about this week is I Am Batman number 17. Um, so we find out in this issue that Lucius Fox had an extramarital affair with a woman, and that woman that he had the extramarital affair with got pregnant, and it is Jace. It is Jace Fox, our Batman of New York. Just found out his mom is not his mom. And furthermore, his mom, that is his biological mother, has been kidnapped because of her association with Lucius Fox. Yeah, bummer. So Batman is off doing. He's off kind of like. Jace Fox is off kind of like brooding about it. So you have his sister, uh, who is kind of just becoming her own little vigilante herself. Kind of like it's almost like she's going to become his Robin. It's not official yet, but they did just, get into a situation together. One of the things that bothered me about the last issue of this comic is when they both realize each other is, well, Tiffany, she realizes that he's Batman. And she's like, "What? Like you're Batman?" There was no real build up to the idea of Tiffany, in my opinion, just knowing that. Um, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's move along here, folks. Well, Tiffany, this little petite, strong-willed Tiffany shows up to his oh my, I have like a piece of hair, like, yeah, my hair is a mess, guys, sorry. Um she shows up and finds his cop crew, the crew that he's been working with, the department group that he's been working with in the police department, and it's just like, yo, I'm a superhero thing, and um we're gonna, go and do this. I'm a random vigilante. Hi, here I am. We're gonna just go and do this. Um, Batman's not available right now. Literally. I think, like, if I were to pull it out, she says something along those lines. Like, when they ask about Batman, Batman's not available right now. It's like they called and they got the voicemail. They're like, "Thank you for calling the Batman hotline. Batman is not available right now because he's brooding somewhere." Yeah. And so go ahead and your call is very important to us. So go ahead and leave a message and your phone number at the beep, and we'll get back to you as soon as Batman finds time to get back from his brooding session. Thank you. Beep. Okay, that's not necessarily the nicest thing to say about Batman at this moment. Like, okay, so like, but dude, you gotta pull yourself together. Yeah, pull yourself together here and be Batman, because the baby mama of you needs your help. But Tiffany's on it. Tiffany is on it. She is there with the cops. She's like, okay, here's the deal. I have a plan, and we're gonna do this. And the cops are basically just like, shit, we're at a loss, guys. Well, the kid's got a plan. The kid's got a plan. Um, and we have no plan at this particular moment in time. So let's follow the teenager. Yeah. We're going to follow the teenager into danger, which is exactly what they do. But guys, Jace gets a hold on it, and he joins. And unfortunately, what Jace and Tiffany both thought was going to be kind of an easy deal has now gotten very complicated. So, and that's kind of where we've ended up at. All of my showboating and joking aside, um, I do very much appreciate that this book is taking measures to raise stakes and taking measures to um, bring a added element of Tiffany to the fold. I do very much like that. My joking aside and everything like that. Um, I do not want. What I'm worried about is losing focus on the original story, which had to do with anarchy, getting killed, and all that. I don't want them to lose that focus, because they kind of had to break it, because Jace ran off and joined the fold for Dark Crisis, and I don't want them to lose. I do want a resolution to that storyline. So I hope this doesn't befuddle it too much, or maybe it's related. That might be interesting. But this is what I'm holding out to see what happens. But with this book, we've hit the issue 17. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so we started out like this, and every once in a while my interest would start to wane, and then it would come back up because something happened, and it'll go back down again, and it'll come back up, and it'll go back down. And right now it's up here. Okay, it's not down here, but it's up here. And I'm just interested to see where do we go with this, and a little bit of a little bit of a what's the word I'm looking for, cliffhanger there. Um, so the next book I'm going to talk about, I've been very much enjoying, because um, I very much enjoy Grifter, is Wildcats #3. So here, they're introducing the so-called like um, kind of face of the operation, which is basically made to look like um, a weird motley group of superheroes doing their thing on behalf of the corporation. And it's really supposed to be kind of like the face of it, to kind of cover up what the actual Wildcats are doing. Um, the Wildcats aren't necessarily all that thrilled with this concept. And Grifter does end up getting into a fight with one of these characters. and it makes Marlo like unhappy. So Marlo's like, yeah, I'm sending you home and like all that shit, right? So of course, when they send him home, they end up in a situation where they absolutely need Grifter's help. So they have to bring him back in, and you've got more action involving underground Gotham stuff. They're really trying to connect the Wildcats into the DC world from Wildstorm and Image, and on some levels, I'm just really enjoying this, and in some levels, it is getting very um, obvious that they're trying to do that, and it's okay. Like I'm fine with that because we get Wildcats and I'm very much enjoying this book. However, there's a possibility that they could have had a whole other universe, kind of like that could be connected in some way, because of the multiverse, the blooming of the multiverse. Because we do have, like, if you were to look at the list of all the different universes, we do have a universe dedicated to the Milestone Media Dakota verse. Um, so we could have very well had our own, like, Marlowe verse or Wildcats verse or Grifter verse. Um, in some other area that didn't have to be related, where you've got Talon running around, um so you've got the Court of Owls running around, you got Talon running around. You could have had something different, but this could mean that we have an opening for more interconnected stories. um and I'm still holding out that that could be the case, with this one as well. Okay. The next one we're going to be talking about is Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. So this was one I wasn't even going to read. I wasn't even going to read this. I wasn't even going to read this series. I was like, yes, another Batman book. I love Batman. But it's another outside of the universe Batman book. And then everyone's like, no, no, Mark Silvestri, Mark Silvestri. Just trust us, Carrie. Mark Silvestri. Okay. And now I'm into it. I love it. It's so good. It's so good. This is book 3. So Batman has decided that he is going to work with the Joker because he has to. He likes Jim Gordon too much. Yeah. So, okay, so if you're not familiar, the Joker has secured Jim Gordon so well, he doesn't even know where Jim Gordon is at this point. But somebody is sitting there sending random small, teeny body parts of Jim Gordon's to the police, and might as well just get on with it, right? Like, go ahead and join forces with the Joker so you can find Harley Quinn. Because, yes, Harley Quinn has been taken hostage by someone. And Batman Bruce Wayne starts connecting the dots. Plus, let's go there first. Batman Bruce Wayne starts collecting the dots and finds out that there's this guy that Wayne Tech was sponsoring his work. And something went wrong with that work, and the work was supposed to help him save people. um it was stem cell related, I believe, if I remember correctly from the reading, and something went wrong. His daughter died, and he has a big chip on his shoulder now, quite rightly, because his daughter died, and um, he blames the situation and other people, and he very well is probably the person, like, more than likely holding Harley Quinn hostage. I mean, they really allude to this big time in the book. So yeah, that's probably pretty much what's going on. Um, Other story. So you have these zombified clones of the Joker running around that's kind of acting like this dude's minions, right? So after Batman gets done trying to solve the problem with the two parents and everything like that, um and that does not go well, then he comes back and finds out that while he was gone, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, and Alfred were kind of working on this whole situation. So what happened is there was a piece of one of these zombies that ended up implanted into Batman during a fight. So they extracted it and kept it, and they started to find out that it was replicating cells, basically. So you have that as well. So that's kind of how Batman Bruce Wayne ended up finding out and figuring out that this guy, um, this cell replicating thing, um, this guy was probably involved. That's where that is right now. This came out like a few weeks ago, and this next book I'm going to talk about, and it's actually kind of funny. Somebody's negative review made me want to read it. Somebody's negative review made me want to read something, which doesn't always happen. But it was the things that they were saying that were negative that I was actually viewing them as positive. So I went ahead and I picked it up, and it definitely definitely made me a happy woman that I had done that, because I very much enjoyed the Scarlet Witch. Number one. First off, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm gonna actually probably talk about the work in here a little bit more. We all know that we know that people have been talking up the Batman and the Joker, the deadly duo, the art, the story, the concept, everything like that. We know people have been talking that up. We know people have been talking up the Wildcats. We know, okay? One, I don't read a lot of Marvel. And two, I want to support these kind of stories that can be strong female heroes, strong female types, um, with these kind of stories where you may have a character that is looking to, I don't know, I think she uses the word redemption in this, if I recall. Um, but let's see here. So she, yeah, martyrdom is not the answer. That's not this. I'm going big, making it so no one slips through the cracks again. So I built a spiritual mercantile here at the Emporium. People can get help with the small things, and for those greater in need. Oh wait, even before that, she's talking to Petro, because Petro visits her. Um, And he's like, honestly, Wanda, what are you doing here besides testing my biology with saturated fats? And she says, balancing past mistakes. Darkness held me back for too long. I thought I helped. But how many people suffer because I didn't reckon with myself sooner? So yeah, she is making this statement. She's doing this. She has a little shop, that's like a new age shop. Okay. Um, and she's trying to get herself on more of a level, um, and trying to center herself, and doing trying to do a service. So she has the shop, she's got all the new age stuff, right? So when she comes back, she's someplace, she's fighting a beast, and oh god, what's the name of the character? uh where is it at? Dr. Hydro. Yes. She's fighting Dr. Hydro. And Dr. Hydro has this monster, the Sicilian. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correct. Um, and they are terrorizing a cruise ship. And here comes Wanda, and Wanda is helping. And then after that, Wanda comes back, and she comes back to the shop, and Darcy is there. Darcy is, most people would recall Darcy as, oh gosh, what's her name? Jane Foster's assistant. Um, yeah, played by, oh god, what's her name? I'm totally blanking on the name of the person that plays her. She's absolutely gorgeous. She has long dark hair. She always has the scarlet red lipstick. You guys know who I'm talking about. So Darcy is working for Scarlet Witch, and Scarlet Witch has this shop, and she has a special door, and it's basically the door of the one last hope. Um, so when is that okay? There's the last door. Um, part seeking spell, part portal. Um, it's a portal. So let's see here. They're saying they're talking about it, her and Pedro, and the door opens, and it is um somebody of it's the door of last resort. Somebody opens it, they come through. She's like, wait, this isn't the farmer's market. So what I really love is and right here on the title page, you get it a few pages into it. It says, if your need is great and your hope is gone, there you will meet the Scarlet Witch. And I love it. I love the idea that they're wanting to make the Scarlet Witch um, an instrument of hope. I do love that. Um, so the woman is there, and the woman's like, well, this guy came into our town and has everyone under a spell where they just follow everything he does or wants them to. And so he's got everyone, even my wife. And she's like, I need help, this sucks. And she's like, well, Scarlet Witch is like, I'm going to listen to you and I believe you, and we're going to go and we're going to take care of this. So Scarlet Witch goes there. She encounters the corruptor. She turns him to stone, and then she influences the townspeople to not kill him. She's like, here's the thing. I'm going to leave your fate in the hands of the town that you took advantage of. And then when somebody's about ready to try to kill the guy, like just knock him, apart because he's stoned. She's like, hey, you know what? You could do that, but it's probably not the best idea. And she then comes back through the door, and everything is a-okay now there, and everything's fine, and it's time. Let's close up the shop. And you're wondering throughout this whole thing, like, what is Darcy doing there working in the shop? Well, what you find out is Darcy came through the door, and has not told Wanda why she's there yet. And then the door opens again, and it is Vivian Vision, and she announces to Darcy that it could be her daughter. And that's the end of the book. So right away, this is the idea that a lot of books were built upon. A lot of superheroes have been built upon the idea that comes from Spider-Man. The with great power comes great responsibility, and this is the idea of the Scarlet Witch saying, "Okay, I have this really big power, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that in this way to be of service to people." And it really is just like, if you need help, come find the Scarlet Witch. And I love that story. I love it. And it's the it's I don't know really how to explain why I love it. I love it because it is somebody that takes on the idea of, being like, okay, I have this power, and I haven't necessarily done what I feel like is the right thing with it all the time. And now, here I am going to try and do that. So, yeah. Let's see here. We're gonna try and move through these because there's a lot here. We're gonna try and move these through these a lot quicker. So bear with me. We have Human Target, book number 10. Lovely cover. I love this cover. This is, I believe it is, I don't think it is a Greg Smallwood cover. Hold on. It does not look like Greg Smallwood. Nope, it is Alex Gardner. So how do I put this quickly? Human Target is still trying to figure out exactly what happened. He goes off and he wants to try to figure out what happened with Guy Gardner, because now they found out. Well, he goes to try to find out what happened, and he gets one of his more like loose-lipped Green Lantern friends to help him, Nort, and Nort takes him to like kind of like their Hall of Records, and he figures out that actually, in fact, Guy Gardner is not dead. He finds Guy Gardner. He asks him, gets him to tell him what really happened. And he gets back and he goes to Ice, and he's like, okay, so basically jig is up. Guy told me everything, and how this guy actually believed that if he did everything you told him to, meaning she set it up completely. She's responsible, at least in part, for the whole thing. Meaning she is responsible for him getting poisoned. And that's the end of that issue. That was actually pretty quick. That was good. Okay, DC Universe Lazarus Planet Alpha 1. Okay, so I don't know why I said 1 because there's only going to be one alpha. Um so we are kind of just in the beginnings of what happened right after the volcano starts erupting. And there's Lazarus gunk everywhere falling, like Lazarus acid rain kind of thing going on, falling, and everyone is getting affected. Everything is going haywire. You have Neza, people, and his son's people doing stuff. You have um, any hero that can answer the call is showing up at the Hall of Justice, trying to organize their what they're going to do. One of the things is the major thing is they want to go and try and find all of the um, artifacts, all the magical artifacts that were stolen. They think they figured out where to go find those. They go and they're looking into that. You get to a point where Batman and some of the team, Batman and Talia, go underground in this tower and they find Swamp Thing and Poison Ivy fighting the demon. And by the end of it, you have Batman looking all kinds of weird. Like he has definitely been affected and altered by that Lazarus rain. Um, God, it's a really cool like piece of art. Like I just want to show you guys real quick what it looks like because theories abound as to what exactly what is happening. Um, let's see here. And then you've got the whole story with the Monkey King, Monkey Prince. Um, but that right there, like I'm trying to figure out like it's one of those things where it's like he seems to be kind of like getting like really bat like, but also like he's merging with the green. So we'll have to see what happens there. Um, it's peculiar. It's peculiar and interesting. Um, the next one we're going to talk about is Lazarus Planet Assault on Krypton 1. This is different perspectives of different characters that are related to the mythos of Superman. Um, one of them being Dreamer, this lovely Jen Bartel cover. Um, Dreamer is there trying to get into the mind of. She gets the idea that she wants to get into the mind of Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate, she gets into his dreams and he's not really biting. So the helmet starts speaking to her. She's like, I can work with this. If the helmet is dreaming, I can work with this. So that's where she's going with that. You have uh, this cute story where John is trying to stop a a looter, and the looter now has magical powers. Um, that was interesting. You have the Supergirl discovering that she is empathic. This is what I'm reading. I've heard other people talking about how it seems like not Supergirl, excuse me, Power Girl, um, is seeming like she's telepathic or she's psychic. Um, the description given in the book seems actually very much like she's an empath. Empathic people are a phenomenon that they are from that kind of area of clairvoyance where empathic people feel other people's pain and emotion, even if they themselves, if nothing is actually wrong with themselves. Um, like, if they leave themselves open to it, that supposedly, I say supposedly, um, long story, but we'll go with supposedly. Um, if they're connected with someone, um, spiritually or just mentally in some way, and their guard is down, they can feel other people's pain. Um, and like, say somebody has pain in their wrist or something like that from overwork or something like that. Um, the empath can usually be able to tell the location of the pain, um, because they'll be feeling it as well. Um, some people that are empaths have the ability to feel just other people's physical pain, and sickness. Some of them have, just they're just able to do just that. Some of them can feel everyone's emotion in a room, and then you have some um, lucky souls that get to feel both, be susceptible to both. And what seems to be happening with Power Girl is something about the Lazarus Rain has unlocked something that seems very empathic, rather than psychic. So, because for the thing is like when people talk about being psychic, they specifically are talking about certain things and certain aspects of clairvoyance, and clairvoyance has different types. Um, one of them is medium. One of them is psychic, where you can read people's minds. It's like telepathy. And then there's one where it's like somebody is empathic, where clearly there is a moment in here. There's a couple of moments where she is feeling the pain or emotion of someone else. So to answer everyone's question, Power Girl is not psychic, she's empathic. She cannot read minds, she's just empathic. At least right now, that's all that's happening. So, if you have not read, okay, there are stories that happen in Assault on Krypton that kind of feel like they should have been wedged in with Alpha. Okay, because the Dreamer story quite clearly seems to have happened before we had the Alpha story where Batman is feeling effects from the Lazarus rain. Um, because Batman does have interactions with Dreamer, and I think it even says that that particular story takes place in kind of a weird, timeline kind of progression. Um, but anyways, we have two books to talk about, and then I'll be letting you guys go. The next one we're going to be talking about. I love this series. It is again another one that is not DC this week. Guys, this is another one that really wasn't even on my radar until somebody was like, Carrie, there is a talking axe that gets drunk on blood. I'm speaking, of course, of the new arc of Barbaric Hell to Pay, where we rejoin our motley crew, and basically what's happening right now is Owen is in hell. Yep. So Soren, their sorcerer, their magic user, has possession now of the curse and of the axe. And so you have her and Steel are their major concern right now is going and finding Owen. And so they start on a path to go from information, from informant to informant, doing what they can to pull enough together enough information to find Owen. And the axe is there, and the axe is now being wielded by Soren. Soren's got this really cool badass thing going on, uh, while she's still able to use her magic. Okay, all right, I think I'm good now. So they come across a group, and the leader of one of the leaders of this group knows Owen and knows about the axe. So she's all like, okay, so what's going on? Like, what's the deal with Owen? Why do you have his axe? And she wants them to do something for her. Um, they're not really necessarily into it because it would mean that they would have to go and find and kill a very powerful being. And they're like, we really just want to find Owen. So they're fighting about that as well. Now, Owen is in hell, and he is fighting different beings. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes his friend Deadheart on a dragon. Yeah, on a motherfucking dragon. And she's like, yeah. When she find one, it takes a while to figure out how to ride one. But then when you got one, you just fly everywhere on a dragon. Are we even sure that Owen's gonna want to leave hell when he gets to find his own dragon and fly around with his friend? Um, because I know I would love to have a dragon. I mean, yeah, who wouldn't want a fucking dragon? Okay, so one last issue to talk about tonight, and that is Nightwing number 100. Now, guys, I laughed, I cried, I cheered. It was so good. So good. Um, I am so glad that they've gotten back to the idea of the battle for the heart of Bloodhaven, with Heartless. Um, so basically, we have some post-crisis stuff, post-Dark Crisis, where you have the Justice League. It's like, come to think of it, we really don't want to go back to the way things were. Um, and we're really impressed with Nightwing, and we want him to kind of be the leader of the Justice League and do his own thing. And he's just like, the thing is like, I have my Teen Titans, they're like my friends, you know and we have each other's back because we actually like really, we all care about each other, we're all friends. And so there's this whole like, he's like, okay, well, this is a big ask. And he's hanging out with Bruce Batman at Alfred's grave talking to him. And there's some really emotional moments involving that I don't know, like it has Bruce gone into therapy or something like that? Has he been working on some stuff? Because like it was really kind of nice and it was very like, oh, I'm gonna cry, kind of thing. And he told him, I believe he even really told him that he was proud of him. Like, yeah, I think that actually did come out of Batman's mouth. I'd have to crack it open to be sure. Because you never, like, the thing is like, it's one of those things where it's like the dad that like has a hard time showing emotion, right? And you're like, he loves his kids, but he doesn't actually like really talk about it that much, but he does, right? But it's that moment where like he actually does say something and it's like, oh, I think my allergies are acting up and my eyes are watering and all that kind of shit, right? So Heartless and some of his cohorts orchestrate a prison break and really just they destroy the hell out of that prison. And Nightwing and his crew and everyone that's working with Nightwing come to help, and some of the um, members of the Justice League show up. And he's like, "Oh well, we got this under control," because the Teen Titans show up. The Titans. I'm not even going to call them the Teen Titans anymore. It really no. Don't call them Teen Titans anymore. The Titans show up because they're not teens anymore. The Titans show up and show why they're all in this together with each other and save the day. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a very good, solid story. And oh, the most important part, Dick Grayson is talking to his sister, the mayor of Bloodhaven, and like the prison is just like shot. Like they can't have it as a prison anymore. And Dick Grayson is like, it's at the edge of town. It's the first thing anyone sees coming in this end of town into Bloodhaven is a prison. He's like, how about I change that? He's like, I'm gonna buy the land and what's left on it, and he turns it into a new Teen Titans tower, Titans tower. Um, and that's the end. So, yep, that's it. That's all the books for this week, guys. Thanks so much for doing the spoilertastic videos with me, watching them. Um, I hope to do. Maybe I'll still do a little spoiler-tastic review of some of my favorite comics. Maybe one or two of the week at some point. We'll have to see. But we're gonna, like I said at the beginning of the video, we're gonna be transitioning to doing a earlier comic review each week. Just kind of like do what I can to serve the community and make a difference in everything that because I would like to. So like I was saying before, look for the comic review at the latest Friday. I'm going to really try really hard to get everything out and done by Thursday evenings at some point, so it's ready for you to check out. And um yeah, but of course, I'm going to put information about the blog down in the description. So check out the blog on LiveJournal. I'm going to put it's in the description. You can check out the posts I have up so far. One of them talking about the actual historical significance of the theme song to Outlander, and a book review on this book. Taylor Jenkins Reid's Daisy Jones and the Six, which I just found out is actually going to be an Amazon Prime series come March. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be seeing you guys real soon.